Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Made with Love. Today I am actually just sitting on the floor of my craft room. It's a nice sunny day already. It's not even quite 9 in the morning. So the sun's finally shining. I've got the day off, so I'm going to do some painting. So I'm just going to turn my camera on and show you what I plan on doing. Okay, so I've got these assortment of these bamboo vases. Got them all secondhand over the past couple years. I've got 5 left. I think we had 8 at one point. So I've got this nice big green one here, which I love the color. My husband loves the color, so I'm not gonna do this one today, but I will just show you that these are these nice bamboo lacquered vases. And this still has the original price tag. So it was bought from the store. The original price was $65. Whoever bought it for just under $40. We got it at a secondhand store for under $10. It's a nice, quite tall one. And then I've got this other one here that we used to work with our house. It's gold and red. It's the same thing. It's the lacquered, and it has the original price tag on the bottom of it. So whoever had bought this one from HomeSense. They paid $50 and they said the suggested price is $65. I've seen these different vases at Walmart ranging from about $50 to $60 at Walmart. So it's probably about average price, about $50 each. And I've got a few others here. Okay, so this one here and this one here. There was another one that went with this. I bought this nice set of 3 quite a few years ago. I think it was like 7-9 years ago, somewhere around there, from Value Village. I don't know what we paid for each of them. Just know they had 3. I bought them. They've been sitting in my house. They move around. Well, the big one broke. And then we got this one here. And this just says where it's made from. I don't know. There's no price, but it just says it's bamboo, not for water, just decorative only. And it says, yeah, it's a product of Vietnam. Most of them say Vietnam on them, so I guess that's where they be made. This one was also a set of 2, so the other one broke. So we've had quite a few of these, and they just, they get knocked around. This one has a big crack here, and so does this one. It's got this big crack. Now for what I'm doing, I'm leaving the cracks. I'm not going to try to repair them. I'm hoping when I paint them that the paint will just kind of fill that in, because they're not separating, so the crack is not all the way through. Maybe it is kind of, but not enough that it's... Wasn't quite sure how to repair that anyways. So I'm just going to leave these 2. I'm just going to see how they will work. Again, this one here, we love the color, but it no longer goes with the color of our house. So it's the gold and red. We're actually kind of getting away from that. So I'm actually going to do this other technique I'd seen people do with the paint and the baking soda to make them look like clay pots. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I have this other one here. This one here is a nice glass vase, but when I set it here with all these pots, it kind of just, the shape kind of goes with them really good. And this one here, a few years ago, I was vacuuming and it tipped over and I've got to repair it. I have the pieces, so I'll be repairing that. I'm just not sure where I put them at the moment. I had them a few days ago. And then, you have the pieces, you set them aside, because I didn't have time to fix it the other day and I was getting all the supplies I would need to repair this, and I don't know where I put the couple pieces. Put the same thing. It's got another crack here that's just starting to appear. I just had an email pop through on my phone and my phone just froze. Okay, so I got a crack here that I also have to repair, because when I was vacuuming, the vacuum cord got tangled around the vase and pulled it down. So I will be repairing this later today, and I'll be doing the same technique. So I've got 5 vases that I will be painting. I might consider actually looking at how deep this crack is. I might just try to repair this. I might just put some Mod Podge on here just to kind of seal it a little bit. Same with this one. I think I might just, yeah, because this one's starting to really split now because I've been playing with it. Well, so, but like I said, these are old. They were all secondhand. I don't know how old they are. We've had them for, you know, getting close to 10 years on some of them. So the nice big green one, I'm not touching. The color is perfect. It goes with the where I want to put it. So I'm going to keep that one as is. This gold and red one, the color scheme no longer goes with our house. Same with these greenish yellow colored ones. They look good when they had all, like when this was a big set of 3, then I like the colors, and this was a set of 2 and I like the color, but I kind of just want to get them all the same color so they kind of match my house a little bit better. So I'm just going to go and wipe them off, and then I will meet you at the fire pit when I'm ready to paint. Alright, I'm now outside. I got everything I need to paint these. So I got a bucket to mix my paint and everything in. I've got a bunch of paintbrushes, different sizes. I got a 1/2 inch. It says 1 inch, 2 inch, 2.5 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch. I don't know, just grabbed a bunch from inside the garage. So I guess I'll just separate these. So this is the 1/2, 1, 2, 2.5, and I got a couple that are just another ones that are have those sizes. But some of these paintbrushes are well used, so I do like this. When I'm making these projects to look like something old, I like how some of the bristles kind of stick out. Then as you paint, sometimes the bristles will come off in your project. I don't always like that, but it gives an interesting effect when you go to pick the bristles out. Also, with the bristles being slightly like that for the design, or for the effect that I'm trying to go for, is like old clay type stuff, you do get those individual lines. So I thought it'd be just neat to have using some of these older paintbrushes versus a brand new paintbrush. I've got a stir stick, I've got gloves, I've got a wet cloth, and then so I've got my paint here. Where's the English size? Okay, so I'm just using this interior latex paint. This I bought from Home Depot. It was around that $20. It might have been $22. I can't quite remember, but about $20 for this size bucket. So this is a 3.66 liters. And then of course I've got my baking soda. I don't quite know the exact measurements of how much baking soda to the paint. So that's why I've got my bucket here, and I'll just kind of play around till I get the thickness that I want. I also have been watching a lot of people make these, and I'm adding salt to mine. I have seen so many people making these with the paint mixed with flour, mixed with baking powder, mixed with baking soda. I'm using baking soda, but the one thing is I don't see anybody adding any salt. Now, if anybody has ever done any wallpapering where you make your own paste using a flour and water, you always add a pinch of salt to prevent mold and mildew. I did look up and to see if baking soda will mold, and what it said is that if moisture gets into the baking soda, if it clumps, it can get mold. So I'm adding some salt just to help that, just because I don't want mold on stuff. Like, it may or may not actually happen, but just as a preventative. So I'm just gonna realize I forgot to grab the tool to open the paint. So I guess I gotta run back up to the garage and grab a screwdriver, and then we can start painting. Alright, so I'm just got the lid open. I'm just starting to stir the paint. This is just this white base paint. I didn't get anything added to it, so it's just straight white paint. It might be a little whiter than what I want for my house, but that's okay. It's the accent, because I have a place I want to put these, but I love the vases. I love the shapes of them, but they just don't work together anymore. Sorry, I'm outside, so my dog's gonna bark every time somebody goes by the fence. I think that's stirred good. Been stirring for quite a few minutes now. I'm just gonna pour some paint into this bucket. probably a easier, better way of pouring paint out. I'm gonna get paint everywhere today. That's why I'm up by the fire pit. I took my wedding rings off because I just got them cleaned earlier this week, and I just don't want to get them all covered in paint. It's really annoying to wash them. So I'm just gonna add some baking soda. I have no idea how much paint I poured in here. I've got maybe about a 6 of the 4-liter ice cream pail full. And I'm just gonna, so I get this open, just gonna pour in a good amount of baking soda because I want to kind of make it thick. And I'm also gonna pour in some of this. I'm using sea salt. I think the salt will also give it some texture. So now I'm just gonna grab my stir stick and stir this up to kind of get like a nice, I don't know, now it kind of looks like a muffin mix. When you're making any dough, a cake or a muffin mix kind of a batter. I got nice little bubbles forming from the baking soda and the salt. I'll get a close up in just a second. I just want to get some of these lumps stirred in. So don't want to do that. The other reason why I'm working over here by the fire pit. So this is, we've got our fire pit, and then we've got this tabletop. It's an old, I'm not sure what size this is anymore, but it's just an old metal round picnic table. The one that came with like the 3 or 4 legs or whatever it was. And it's old, and it's the perfect size to cover the fire pit. Makes it safe when you have an open fire pit with kids and pets. It kind of just deters them from playing inside the fire pit. There we go. So we got a nice thick consistency. Looks good. So I'll get a close up in just a second here. Just don't want to get too much paint everywhere. There we go. Just do. Don't know if you can see, but I've got lots of little bubbles in there. So now I'm ready to start painting. So I'm going to start with the smallest one first. Just back around. Move this away. So I'm just going to grab my paint. Move my camera back just a little, just so I don't splash it, because usually when I paint, I don't always splash, but sometimes I do. And then I realize I don't have a plastic or drop cloth out here like I normally would have, so I'll have to go and grab one. I'm just gonna go back and forth, just painting it. I like the crisscross strokes. And I'm gonna do a couple coats. So I just want to do my first coat just really thin. And I do want to try to get them like almost like completely like in a circle, but I'm doing it in small chunks. And then I will go around like my final one, because I do really want to get the lines to look like it is clay pottery, where you get all the lines going one direction. But for a first coat, I just want to get some interesting designs in there. I just want to see how this will work. Oh, and then when I washed them, I took all the little stickers off, and some of the stickers peeled off. Some of the protective coating on these, or paint, or whatever it was. So when I paint these, I'll have to do a little bit thicker around there just to kind of hide that. This is just my first coat, just to see how it's working, and I'm kind of liking the way this is going on. I'm spilling everywhere now. This is the one that had the crack. I didn't repair it, but I just figure if I just do this. If I do the first coat and it dries, and if the crack is there, then I might just put something on, just try to figure out what I can do to seal the crack. But I was hoping that if I painted it, that this was just thick enough that it might just hide that, or it might help hold the little crack closed. First coat of the first one done. I do want to get more of my brush strokes going all one direction, so I will do that. But I've got some lines in there. I don't know how well they're showing up, but you can definitely see each little brush stroke, and you can see each little line. So it does, oops, I just kind of hit it against the side of the bucket, so I just kind of took off a whole bunch of paint right there. And then you do get the really nice lines. So I'm just gonna paint all 4 of these ones I've got out here right now, and I will be back after I've got them all painted with the first coat and it is dry. Alright, the first coat has dried. I'm kind of liking how the larger strokes went. I'm liking the texture I'm getting. I don't really like some of these crisscross. They don't quite look right. I was just checking to see how it would look as it dries. So the longer the brush strokes, the better. But this was just the first coat. I like the amount of texture I'm getting. So for my next coat, I'm gonna make it a little thicker, so I'm gonna add some more baking soda. And get my tripod to stand still. Just gonna add some more baking soda to this paint here. I'm not measuring, I don't know what measurements. I just saw different people, I think they're just mixing the paint and baking soda to get the nice thickness of whatever thickness you want to get. So, there, this one looks like more like a pancake batter. That's what it's reminding me of. So this will be a lot thicker to paint on. I think I'm gonna start to get rained on now. These clouds have just shown up while I was waiting for it to dry. So I'm just going to quickly put on the second coat of paint on these, and then I'm gonna set them inside the front entrance of my shed to dry, just in case it starts to rain. I'm just gonna grab a smaller brush. My first one I was using a 2-inch. I think I'm gonna go to, it's a little 2-inch, a 1.5, and it's a little bit of a stiffer brush, just to see if I can get more texture. If it will just be a thicker coat. There, so I'm just going to do the second layer the same as the first. So I'm just trying to get this on. Oh, it's actually taking the first layer off. That's not good. Don't want it to do that. I just want to kind of build up. Let's see, I'm not quite sure if I'm in the frame. There, I just kind of want to build up the thickness. So I'm just gonna go over top all 4 of these and give them like a thicker second coat. And then I will let them dry, and I will be back after the second coat has dried, and I will see if I have to do a third. Alright, so I had started these Wednesday morning. I have actually done 2 full coats. I've given them, I was gonna give them like 24 hours to dry. I've actually been like 2 days to dry because it's now like Friday supper time. And I'm finally got some time to get back out here and finish these. So these have got 2 really good coats. My second coat I did really extra thick, thicker than the first one. And so they're all looking really good. I've got this one here where it still has, every time you pick it up, it's got the crack. So I'm going to use some of this wood glue and see if that will help hold it in place a little more. If that doesn't work, then I might just do, I'm pretty sure the wood glue will work. If it doesn't, because I can still do another couple layers of the paint and baking soda, I might just do a bit of like a paper mache type of a thing over top of where this crack is, using some extra thick like paper towel kind of stuff. And I'm not quite worried about how it's gonna look, because I can, after the paper towel's been on, I can do a couple more thick coats of the paint and baking soda. And then when everything is completely finished, I'm gonna spray paint them all with this Rust-Oleum 2-time Ultra Cover paint and primer and satin in the color of Heirloom White. So it's like an off-white, because this white that's here is just so white, and you just notice every little speck of dirt that's on here. There's a few little bugs that have landed and got stuck on here. There's anywhere where they were touching each other. Let's see if I show one spot. Like right here, the two, oops, I saw it right here. There's a few spots like this where the vases had touched each other, or my fingers, and I've moving them around to put them where they were safe to dry, and I've kind of wiped some of the paint mixture off. So I figure if I just go and spray paint. But I really like the texture I've got. I love some of this really rough stuff here, and then I got some really nice smooth lines. And so I think if I spray painted it, it will give it a much more of a finished look. Because I knew I could, I really want it to be more of like a pottery color, but I don't like the terracottas, don't go with my decor. See, there's this, oh, see, I'm dropping them. See, that's from the two sitting side by side, and I crashed them into each other, and there's another spot there too. Or they tip over when because they are so light. So I'm just going to go back and put a third coat on all of these. Actually, but first I will do this the wood glue. If I can get my tripod to stand. I'm using this tripod. I don't really like. It's okay. It's just a cheap one from the dollar store. But I figure it's a good one to use outside, because if I were to drop it and it breaks, it was only a couple dollars versus I've got some that are more expensive tripods now. So this is the one. Yeah, there's the crack. So I have to find that crack. So I'm just going to take the wood glue. I'm going to change the angle of my camera, just 1 second. Okay, hope this is a better angle. It's easier for me to see what I'm doing. So hopefully it'd be easier for you to see what I'm doing as well. So I just got the wood glue, and I'm just going to get this out. If I got the full one, just going to put wood glue right across the whole crack. And this wood glue dries clear, so I'm not too worried about the colors. Just got to make sure I get right across where the whole crack is. And just kind of get the glue to go in the crack. And this glue is dripping and doing stuff I've never seen wood glue do before. It's like peeling off. It doesn't want to stick to this. I don't know, it just wants to peel off. It's like gone like rubber. Maybe this is the expired glue. I don't know. My husband's got a whole bunch of these bottles of wood glue in the garage, and they're all like almost empty. So I was trying to find one that glue was actually coming out of. I don't know, it just wants to kind of rub off like rubber. So I'm just gonna rub it off like rubber because it kind of wants to just flake off. But when I lift it up, it seems to have sealed that crack, which is what I wanted it to do. There. The crack is sealed. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this aside for a second. I'm just going to go and grab the paint and paintbrush because it was just sitting here beside me, but I've got it, I just can't reach, so just give me 1 second. Right, so I've got my paint and baking soda mixture. I've kept the lid on it this whole time, and I've just kept the same 3 paintbrushes I was using, just kept them off to the side so they weren't soaking in the actual paint stuff, but then everything just stays moist because I really meant to get to this yesterday. So this is the one with the wood glue. I'm just going to set that aside. I'm just going to go back to this is the smallest of the 4 I'm doing at the moment. Get myself a nicer surface here. I'm just going to grab this and dip my paintbrush in that mixture and just start doing this. That's all I was doing, just painting it on in really thick coats, really wanting to exaggerate the brush strokes. And I found the thicker you put it on, the better. The thicker it was, the more defined the brush strokes will be. And I think the small one didn't really need another coat, just a few spots where I just thought it could use just a little more texture. So I think this one was good. But it's the larger ones that needed a few places that need to be fixed. So of course the bottom, because it touched the ground. So paint kind of came off when it was on the ground. Just dab some more of this in. There's a spot right there and a spot right there. I'm just going to continue doing this with the others. It's very easy to do, so I'm not trying to make these look perfect. I want them to kind of look old and like real pottery. Just people walking by my gate. I just really want to get lots of texture on here. And I'm still using the exact same amount that I had made up the other morning. So I made up more than I needed, which was, I guess I thought I'd need more for how many I was doing. And then because this is acrylic paint mixed with the baking soda, I find the cleanup was just so easy. Just trying to get those spots where it really needs it. I don't think there was much on here. I think the 2 really good thick coats really covered, especially since I'm going to be spray painting them. just anywhere where the has kind of chipped off is kind of where I really want to get it on. And then of course I got to do the bottoms because I didn't do the bottoms of these. I was worried if I did the bottoms they were going to fall over. So I'm just going to quickly do the bottoms and I'm just going to do the other two and I will be back when I go to spray paint. Okay, the third and final coat is dry. It's now like not even quite 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. We're between rain because it rained yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to come and finish this last night. So now I'm just going to give it them a couple coats of the Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Cover Paint and Primer. It's a satin finish, and this is the Heirloom White. Shake the can good. And with all four of these sitting here, it's hard to believe that they were all different colors. Now they all look the same and they look good. So now I'm just gonna start spray painting them. Just gonna do. Oops. This nice little. I like the color. Gonna go with my house. Watch better. This is the big one that was gold and red. So now it's gonna be this color and it's actually gonna match everything in my house. I mean, when it was gold and red, it matched our stuff before, but now it's gonna really match. I'm not gonna give these more than just one light coat. I don't think I need to. So I'm just gonna spray these all with one nice light coat because I do like some of the white showing through. I like how it's looking, but the white is just too bright. So I'm just gonna keep spray painting these and I'll be back when they are dry, and I am putting them in my house above my dining room. Alright, so I've spray painted those containers, and where I'd like to put them is way up here on this ledge above my dining room here. So I'm going to go up there and clear that space out. Right now I have this artwork that was taken down. We were painting and we just haven't decided where we want to put them yet. And we have these other plant pots that are kind of like a Greek kind of inspired, I guess. And there's the painting that we bought because it matches those pots. So I will go up there so you can see what I have up there. So I'm not even quite sure what paintings we have up there. I don't know if there's anything else up there right now. So I'm just gonna have to get out the ladder and climb up. All right, now I'm up here. I'm on the stairs. Then I've got my ladder here. Oops, unless it slides on me. And I'm gonna climb up here and see what is up here. Now this needs to get painted again. I don't paint up here. My husband will paint this. Okay. So what we have up here looks like we have the 4 paintings, which we have nowhere else to put them, so they're just gonna stay up here. And then way back there we've got, oops, oh, I can't even get past, got this stone clock. It does not work. I think it may have worked. I got it for just a couple bucks at a yard sale. Okay. Now I've got all these little lights here, and they are missing their covers. There's another one, because we put seasonal stuff up here, and then all these covers, they got the top plate part for them all got broke. But we've got this here, which I think I take this one and I'll spray paint it the same color as those vases I just did, because it's this right now, it's so many different colors and I don't like it that many colors. It's got these weird brown stone texture, like somebody had done something, but they kept the center really, really white. And then where there was some chipping, the chipping is like super white. And then there is some rust up here and some other paint. And it just needs a good cleaning, and then I will paint that. Then we've got these. We've got 3 of them. They're slightly different, but they're pretty much the same. So you got like these women, you know, Greek, Roman women, whatever they're supposed to be, you know, holding up these. I do like them up here, but I'm going to push them further back so they will stand behind the vases I'll bring up here. So I guess there's not a lot of work up here because we had kind of cleaned this up not that long ago. It's always hard to know what's up here. The floor right here, it's a bit dusty, so I'll just grab a cloth and wipe this off and move these things around, move the artwork around, have which ones I would like to be able to see. But you can see my dining room table, so I'm quite far up. I know how tall my ceilings are. I don't like being up here. So when we moved in, I've always kept so much stuff up here so kids wouldn't climb up here. You can see I gotta get back down. So I will be back when I've got this organized and I'm bringing the pots back into the house. All right, so here's a closer up look of these 3 plant holder pedestals as well as just the 2 regular pedestals. I forgot about this one. I saw it in the living room sitting in the corner, so I thought, no, we could use a quick little spray paint as well. I'm not gonna go run out today to buy some spray paint, but I've got the one I was using, so it's still down by the fire pit. But in the garage, these are all these Rust-Oleum. I have pink peony. Where are they? So I had to turn them around so I could see them. So I've got pink peony and smoky beige. So I'm going to start with the beige for these 3, and then I'll do the peony for these 2 because these ones actually have a bit of a pink tone already. I'm just going to use up the spray paint I have. So I'm going to do this little column one first. So I'm just going to set it down. Grab the spray paint. Just bring the paint to the other side of the garage. So I'm just standing here in the garage because I think it's going to rain again today. So I just want to get these done. Just a quick light coat. I already wiped them off. I'm going to start over here. Just do a nice, oh, this is more pink than I thought. Just going to do a nice quick coat. Oh yeah, this is the paint that runs. For some reason, I think my garage is just so hot at times. I'm just doing quick little spritz up and down with the way that these columns have the little grooves in them. There, that looks so much better than it did before. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm just going to continue with the other 4, and I will be back when I get them all painted. All right, they are now all painted. I'm now out of all of my paint that I was using. So these 2 I have done in the pink peony. This one here I did, shoot, what was the color? I know what colors I had, I just can't remember this one. Oh, this is the heirloom white. So this one I did in the heirloom white. And then, or no, I did these 2. I did these 2 in the heirloom white. So I've got this one here with the 2 women holding the jug above their head. And this one I also did in the heirloom white. It's got the 3 women holding those little wreath headband things that they used to make. I forget what they're called. And this one here with the two women holding the thing above their head. I did this one in the smoky beige. So I've ran out of all three paints. This one here I didn't quite finish. I did a good coat and I was just trying to get up under here and I ran out. So this one up at the top is not fully finished. So when I put this up, I know the spot that I don't have any paint on, so it's not as shiny. So I started with painting just the women because I knew I didn't have a lot of paint. So I started from the women and then I worked down, did the bottom of the pedestal, and then I worked my way up underneath to the edge. And so this one isn't quite finished. I thought I had another smoky beige, or was it the heirloom white? I forget. I thought I had one more of those colors, but I guess I don't. So those 5 are done. I also quickly ran out and I flipped those jugs over and I will show you in 1 second. And so just in the front part of my shed here, I've got this barrel that's got sticks and like hockey sticks and things that my husband has. So I just had the hockey sticks or the broom handles holding these vases upside down and I spray painted the bottom of them. This is also how I put the final coat on the bottom of them as well. Because if I had them sitting up there, I don't know, top heavy, bottom heavy, whatever you want to call it. So when they sit them upside down, they want to fall over. So I needed some way to have them where the bottoms could dry. So this is how I have them drying. And they are, oops, I guess right where I spray painted, still wet, but where I had spray painted a little bit earlier, it is almost touched. It's almost dry enough to bring in, but I gotta wait for the bottoms to dry. Then I'll bring these ones into the garage as well so they can help dry faster because the garage is so hot right now. So I will be back when everything I have painted is dry and I'm ready to put it back up in the dining room. Okay, so now I'm in my craft room and I've got the broken pieces for this vase that I also want to cover, like the ones I'm working on outside. So it's a hollow vase and I've got 4 pieces. It was 2 and I just set this down and then 2 more little pieces had just come off. So I'm just going to use a bit of duct tape just on the inside just so I've got something to press this into to help hold it. I was looking for something else. I thought we had some of that drywall type tape. I just couldn't see any. I'm not going to dig too much into the garage. I don't know how my husband has his tools and stuff laid out. He's not home at the moment, so I figure I'll just use a little bit of duct tape just to give me a little bit of a surface so I won't be pushing too far. This vase at the top, it's got this really narrow neck. I can only fit 3 fingers in here, maybe 4, but there's no way I could get my arm in there to help hold it from the back so I don't press them in too far. Need a couple pieces just so I've got kind of know where this will be going. Now I have to figure out these other 2 little pieces had broke on me. So I just gotta figure out. This is this big piece from here, and this was the piece that was here, and these are the 2 pieces that just broke. So I just have to figure out how these ones go in. Goes there. just like building a big giant 3D puzzle sometimes. So. So I've got the pieces where they go. Now I'm going to use a mixture of this all-purpose clear glue and the wood glue. My wood glue is still outside, so I will have to run back and get it. Now I know where the pieces go. I'm just taking them out so I can just lay them down this way. I think I might just take this tape off, and I think I'm just going to tape them together, and then this piece of tape is not sticking in there. I said I was going to use this tape, and I forgot. Okay, I'm going to just push this tape back in. I'm just going to fix this, and then when I get these pieces all glued in, I will be back when I take this one outside as well, and I will be putting that mixture of baking soda and paint to make this one also look like ceramic. So I will be back in just a few moments when I get this repaired and I'm out by the fire pit. Yeah, I'm back outside. I had to make up some more my paint and baking soda mixture. It's crawling all over me. I'm gonna put on some of the wood glue because I've got it glued. I've got it glued into place with that clear glue that I had in my craft room, and I'm going to use some wood glue. Wood glue seems to really help hold a lot of things together. It gets right in the crack. Put some wood glue on here. This whole bottom has even got some more cracks in it that weren't broke through, but I'm going to put the glue right across where I did glue, and then there's some more cracks coming up the other side here. those filled in too. That glue on that side dry, and I'm just going to start painting the other side. I just wish I could get my camera angled down there. I got this pretty runny. I found it worked really good with my other ones if I did my first coat a little more runny and then just thicken it up for the second and third coat. Just going to just paint this on, just giving this base coat to give it something to stick to. When I get this all covered, then I have to let this first layer dry. I think it took about 4 hours. So I will just give this some time to dry. Finish this first coat, give this time to dry. When it's dry, I'll come back and I will thicken my baking soda and paint mixture thicker, and we'll put on the second and third coat because I didn't need a lot of drying time between the second and third coats because it was so hot out here, but today's a little cooler. So I will be back when I go to put the second coat on. Alright, so this is the broken pot. I have it repaired and I'm putting the coat on. So I've got 2 coats of the white paint with the baking soda. I'm going to make another bit of this paint and baking soda. I'm going to add more baking soda to make it a little more thick so I can get it on a little bit more thicker because it's just kind of a thin coat, almost out of baking soda. It's okay. Just really want my final coat to be a lot thicker than the other coats, and my paint has kind of become really runny just sitting out here. I don't know, I'm not really measuring, I'm just adding paint and baking soda to get to a nice good thick paste. Actually, it looks like pancake batter. I want it to be a little more thick. So I'm going to add some more baking soda, and this will be my final layer of paint on here. I really want it to be really thick because I really want the brush strokes to be really noticeable on the final coat. I'll just add what's left in the box. There's not really enough left, and now that it's been out here, I don't really want to put this back in the kitchen. There. Ease it all up. Just picking up my garbage. There. So I'm just going to stir this in. Now it's really thick. Now I've got more like a cake batter consistency. Oops. Don't want to stir too hard or I'll splash everything. There, that's what I want. I want a nice thick final coat. My first coat was really runny, just to kind of, not like super runny, but just a little thinner just to give it a good base coat. And the second coat was a little bit thicker to build up. Now this is the final coat. And I just want to get this on here because where I made the patch, I don't know if you can tell, but it just, the pieces didn't line up. It kind of cracked and moved a little bit. So I really want to just hide that spot. Just trying to figure out where best to put this. I got other stuff here now that I'm working on. I just want to get some really good thick coats off this stuff on here. Don't want to rub like that because I just took off some of the previous layer I'd done. I just really want to get a nice thick coat to hide where I had to repair and where the cracks are. I'm just going to paint this and build this final layer up. I'm just using these other paint brushes that I've got extra paint still on it. I'm just trying to get this extra paint off there. So I'm just going to do the final coat. Just going to try to see if I can get this angled a little bit better. I don't know, it's hard to see. I'm out here in the sun and it's hard to see where the camera is. This is white and it's just reflecting. But if I build this up, it's already looking a lot better. Like you can't see where I had repaired. And that's what I wanted to do, is just kind of hide where I'd repaired. So I'm just going to paint this like this and get my third and final coat on here. Now when I get this final coat, then I will go in after it's dried a few minutes, and then I will get my nice brush strokes. And then I'll get nice strokes. That's what I did with the other ones. I waited till my final layer was on. It had a few minutes to set up, and then I just take my paintbrush and just lightly go across, and you get to see all the little brush strokes, and it really starts to really look like pottery. So I'm just gonna continue doing this, so I'll be back when I've got this finished. So I have these different bunch of bamboos. They're in multiple different colors. I got blue, like this red, orangey, pink, and a green. And over the years, they've just been warping and the color's been coming out because I've actually had them in with real plants, so it's been water damaged. And so I decided that I'd like to give them an update. My house no longer has these vibrant colors. It was something I really liked, but now my house is going more, again, more neutral colors with some accents. So I've got some, sorry, I'm outside, so there's motorcycles and stuff. But I've got some of this paint. I'm just trying to use up all these leftover bits of paint I have from previous projects before I start buying new paint. So I've got, I think I said about 25 or 26 of the bamboo sticks. And I've got 3 paint here that are almost empty. I think they actually might be empty, but I think there'll be enough of these 3 to paint these to give some nice color. This one here is aged copper. This one is just copper, and this one is the copper rose. Now these are the Rust-Oleum, hammered paint and primer in one. So this is for wood, metal, plastic, and masonry. So these are wood, and so they're the metallic. Are they the hammered? This one's hammered, this one's metallic. So I've got my copper is hammered, my copper rose is metallic, and my aged copper is metallic. So I've got 2 metallic and then the hammered look. So the 3 are going to be a really interesting combination. So I'm just going to lay my bamboo sticks out and start painting them, and I will show you as I paint. Alright, a quick change in plan. Those 3 are empty, so I had to go back to the garage, and I've got this one here, and it's the Rust-Oleum Universal Forged Hammer Paint and Primer in one, any surface. This is the burnished amber, and I have this other Rust-Oleum hammered paint and primer in one for any surface, and this one is in brown. So I guess I'll be doing them more in the brown, not so much the copper like I wanted. So I'm going to start with this, just the brown. And I'm just going to this is working. Then I'm just gonna spray these. I don't need a good full coverage. I don't mind if some of the other color shows through. I just want to update my existing stuff to kind of match my color scheme I have now. This is coming out really watery. I don't know. I think it's probably just really old, needs to be shaken a little more. So I'm just gonna spray all these. I guess I'll spray half of them in this color and the other half in the other one. And I'll say I don't like how this paint is coming out. It's not quite coming out the way it should be. So you gotta make sure I do only 13. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'll move this one over here. So I'll set these over here so I can just do these 13 in brown, and then I'll do the other 13 in the other brown. So I will be back when I get all these done, and you can see what they look like when they are finished. Alright, so this is what the bamboo sticks look like. They're a little sticky, tacky. It is so hot out here. Oh, it's still wet. But I don't know, the garbage bag had melted to these. So I know they're going to probably stick together. So I'm just going to move these into the garage and lay them out on fresh plastic in the garage. And I will spray them again, another coat later tonight. But now I've got both the colors mixed together. It's hard to tell which were which. I've got some that are a little bit lighter, some a little darker. I'm outside in the sun, bright sun. I can't see the difference between the two colors. You can see where it got stuck to the garbage bag. It kind of ripped it all up. I've got chunks of actually pieces of the garbage bag is like stuck like right here. That's a chunk of the garbage bag is just melted into the spray paint and everything. So it's, I don't know what the temperature is. I think it's about 30 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment. So it's quite hot out here for today, for the weather we've had for the past week. So I'm gonna finish these inside. But this is now dry. So this is the white one that I had to repair. It's all dry. I'm going to spray paint it in the color blush. Just 1 second. I just realized I left the paint in the shed. All right, so I am using this. It's a Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Cover Paint and Primer, and it's a satin and the color's Vintage Blush. Now I have another brand new bottle of this one, so I'm not worried. I'm just going to do a quick spray. But I really like all the way that all the lines come out. It really does look like it is pottery. And I'm not giving a good even coat. I like having some spots lighter, some spots darker. And I like changing the direction that I'm spraying just so you get the different textures in there. And I always spray around the top and down inside just so it looks like it's all made this color. I'm just going to give it one coat. I don't think I'll need a second coat. There, I'm just going to let that dry, and then I will take this inside and I will show my display with all the pots that the planters I have done to make them all look like they are pottery, and the bamboo sticks. When I've got them all painted and they're dry and I've got everything set up, then I will be back inside to show you what it all looks like put together. Alright, so I'm in my craft room just for a quick few minutes, and I'll show you how I how I have arranged everything. But here's the bamboo sticks that I had painted. I ran out of the one paint, so I just did a mix of the two, just went over. So both the brown spray paints are on here. I had to do 2 coats, and then I ran out of the spray paint, and then I would just have the 2 bottles and just spray painted over top, zigzag every which way, just to get them all good and coated. So they're all interesting, so you got a different pattern. Some of the colors are still showing through, the blues, orange, pinks, purples, whatever colors they were. It's still showing through on a couple of them, which is fine. I was trying to figure out how I was going to display these. I have 3 large glass pillar candle holders, vases. I use them more for vases. I don't do candles. I also have a big bundle of these large cinnamon sticks. I don't know where I bought them. Some secondhand store. They were just in a bundle. They were with some other florals. I didn't like the other florals, but I bought them because they were made in a big thing like this. They had this big ugly bow on them, and it's not my color scheme. I think I did actually use the bow in a craft because I cut it up and it looked good when you just cut the, it was just a big bow, but when you cut the pieces up to other smaller pieces, I was able to use it up. Same with the florals that came with this. Some I have used, some I have donated back just because they weren't my color scheme. So I got a whole bunch of these really large cinnamon sticks, and I also have some of these, and I think they're called reindeer antlers, so they're just branches. They've got some velvet on them. I don't know, I think they're just sticks that have been sprayed with something. I'm not quite sure. They were in a nice fall bouquet that I had bought probably about between 6 and 8 years ago from HomeSense or Winners or Marshalls, I don't know, one of those ones, one of those stores, and it had the nice fall florals. The fall florals are either been used up and stuff, or I have, gotten rid of them, but I kept these. So, whoops, just knocking my camera over. So what I'm going to do is, just give me 1 second. Sorry, I just had to move my camera. I knew if I was moving these back, I was gonna bang it again. So I've got these 3 vases. Hard to see on camera because they're clear and there's nothing in them, but they are 3 different sizes. I thought I had a 4th one. I thought I had one more this size. I used to have 2 this size, and this one and this one. So I used to have 4. I'm not sure where the other one is. Sometimes I use these inside my other vases as a vase, holder, placement thing, whatever, just so you do different things. So I'm just gonna divide these up into, I've got these 3. Now these are really fat ones, so I'm gonna put the fat ones in the largest one. I'm gonna take these extra skinny ones and I'm gonna put them in the smaller one. So I can, the middle one, it doesn't matter. I'll just do a mix of them. Put some in. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to show with the 1 for now. Actually, maybe I'll just do the middle one because then it's not quite so high. So I don't know how many I was going to use. So I was kind of trying to do them at the same time so I can kind of know how many each I've got. But I'm just going to do the other 2 kind of off to the side. This one here. So I'm just putting about the same amount of sticks in each one. 6, I'm at 2, 4, 5. This is 6 in here. 5, yeah, 6. Just trying to, and I'll do 2 here, do 3, and 3. I decided that my smallest one, it's a little smaller, a little more narrow. It's gonna have a few less sticks. And same with the cinnamon sticks, same thing. I'm just going to take the 2 fat ones and put them in the larger one. And I've got a couple really skinny ones. So I was going to, I've got a really short one. So I'm just going to put that in the shorter one, if I can get it to fit in. 2, 2. This is a really big one. And this is another medium-sized one. There. This is a couple skinny ones. I'll put another one here, and then this one here can use a couple. And I'm just gonna mix these around just so they're not all, you know, like all the cinnamon sticks on one side, bamboo on the other side. Same with this. I've got this one that's just a really small, skinny little one. I'm just gonna stick it in there. And I've got, let's see, this larger one and the bigger one. And then I've got a couple other ones. One there, one there. And I got one more large one in this one. There. So this is kind of what they will look like. I'm going to play around with this, just kind of get them all looking a little bit better. So there's the medium one. And then here's like the smaller one. It's hard to see just this one, so I'm going to have to kind of adjust these. So, you know, I may not even use this small one. I think I might just use the 2. This is just, you know, I'm just looking at it. It's just not enough in here. I think I'm just going to just use the 2. I think it will look good. Okay, just kind of divide these back in here. Just put some of these in here. This one's here. So just kind of there. That's looking a lot better. One here. Cinnamon stick. Another cinnamon stick in this one. And another one of these, stick it here. There, that looks so much better. It looks better with the 2. They're taller. Everything stands more upright. So I've got them. So I'm going to put these up with my other containers I have made, and I'll be back to show you the placement of everything. All right, before I do the final reveal of how they're all displayed, this is what they all looked like about 2 weeks ago when I started this. Having to wait for every coat of paint to dry just takes took a lot longer than I thought it was, but I was doing so many projects within this one video. So this is what they look like. So now I'll walk to the dining room so you can see the final product. All right, I'm in my dining room. I'm scanning up above my dining room so you can see everything is up here, all painted, and chandeliers in my way. Okay. So there we go. Everything is up here on this little shelf that's up here, a little built-in, whatever you want to call it. So there's the 3 plant pots, there's 2 pedestals, and the 5 other vases I did. And then I got, then between up there, I've got the 2 clear glass vases with the reindeer antlers, cinnamon sticks, and the bamboo that I have painted. Trying to see if I can get a clear shot. I don't think I can get everything in one view. Oh, maybe I can. There we go. At a really tricky angle, but there is everything up there. Hey, sorry if this video is just a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. It's just taken me a lot longer to get this project done, waiting for all the coats of paint to dry. And if you see behind me, I know we're into August, but I still have my Easter stuff. I love these little Easter things. They're in my dining room, so they're still up. I just want again to say thank you to everybody who's subscribing to my channels, watching my videos, and sharing them. And I will see you all in my next videos. Bye.